with another painting video. We are going to take a look at me doing some more Tyranid painting. This is a part 2 video, so we were painting up our Swarmlord. I'm going to be painting up, hopefully finishing the Swarmlord tonight, and moving on to the Moltrex, which is one of the more newer models and specialty units that part of the storm. So this is kind of a redo or redone model, and we're gonna hopefully get to start to experience and paint that, and we're gonna see kind of what's up, and I want you guys to stay tuned because tomorrow is going to be a fun day of videos, because I am 100% going to hopefully get my hands on some new products that I will be reviewing, and I'm going to be doing a part 2 for the Marvel Crisis Protocol painting, because I kind of shortchanged you guys. We started a little bit later on it this week, so I want to do a second video to give you guys some more time, because we had some technical difficulties getting things up and running on Monday, and I do apologize that this video came at you a little bit later tonight. We didn't have our normal start time, so I don't know if we'll go as long, but I'm going to try to do a solid hour and go a little bit longer than that. And I wanted to bring some Warhammer 40k love, so maybe Thursday night we'll do another 40k painting video, assuming that we don't do some other content, because I do have a couple of cool things that I might want to throw in there. We have a couple of board games and things that are new, which would be a lot of fun, and maybe something we could try, because I have a couple of new games that I picked up that I wanted to do some reviews of, and we can take a look. We may just do our talk show too on Thursday. I don't know what we're going to do this week, but without further ado, let's get wrap into some 40k. So of course, if you guys want to look, there are 2 other videos. One of me doing kind of a quick review and sort of primer for Tyranids. I know in the description of this video I completely misspelt Tyranids, which I will fix, but I did a crazy thing. I actually went and got a Compact Patrol box and the new Moltrex model, and have now started a Tyranid army, and I want to do something really special and unique with them. So definitely, if you are a 40k fan and want to see more of this content, consider following the channel and signing up for notifications. And as always, I'd like to thank my official sponsor for this video, Undiscovered Realms, where I get all of my models, painting supplies, and such. Check out their website. You can actually see a link to that below. And obviously check out our other social media and other stuff. But without further ado, we will definitely jump into the Moltrex hopefully tonight. But I did a little bit of work of the Swarmlord off camera, so you can start to see that I gave it a blacker tone. So I actually did bring some other color there, just to differentiate a little bit the red areas, so it looked and gradated a little bit, or had a gradated. I meant gradation, a gradient, or a gradation. So we're going to do a little bit of touching up now, where, because I noticed a little bit on some of the pieces I didn't completely. Just kind of filling in, and again, this is Blood Angels red that I'm using. I'm just giving this a little bit more attention, because there were a couple of areas that I already noticed are not completely painted, specifically where I can see already a couple of opportunities is in little areas like at the base of here, because we were talking about this the last time. But the Tyranids are interesting because their weapons are all made, so you know they do have traditional swords and things like other armies, but all of their weapons are biomechanical. So they are, through mutation Their guns, their swords, they're actually growing them from their body. So they are all... They are actually all active mutations or gene splices that they have taken on to actually get that trait. So it's interesting and a lot of fun. Because they actually use that mutation to like that genomorph to have their swords, their guns, and everything else that you find on those guys in the 40K universe. So unlike other armies, they're not using like actual guns and artillery. They're actually using like I said, biomechanical evolutions, which I think is pretty cool. And I said it on one of the previous painting videos that we did for these guys. This has always been like on my wish list of armies. I've always found these models interesting and unique. So I've always found it cool and wanted to, definitely take the time to have a Tyranid army of my own. But like I said, in this video, I want to do some fun stuff with the army itself. So you guys are going to see a very unique painting style, and the theory behind the unique painting style is I want different groupings of the Horde army to come from different gene beds. So what does that mean for how I paint them? Well, you're going to see I'm going to make a big attention to detail where we will have different regiments will have different colors. So I'm not going to paint them all in this more traditional color. So you'll see all of the larger units will have that more traditional color. And the theory behind that is that the larger units are going to be older organisms. So they've been around. So they're more of that older genomorph. And then as the generations change, the newer models or the newer grunts and things will be the older, will be like newer, funkier colors. So they will break the cycle of the Horde, which I think will be kind of cool. And so this is I did this as Swarmlord, and I will always probably play it as the Swarmlord, because when looking at the stats for the models, I thought the Swarmlord looked like he was a better model. Because of course with the kit, you could build a few different things. Oh, hey, what's up? Heroes Brush Hour. Oh, I got a raid. It's an active raid. Hello. Oh boy. What's up? Hello. Wait. Warhammer Geek. Yo, what's up? Oh, damn. There's a lot of people that just popped in here. So, yeah. So, we're doing a Tyranid paint. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Okay. I got raided. This is awesome. Love the color scheme. Well, yeah. We're going with a so this is kind of a traditional Tyranid. Raid. Oh, nice. This is awesome. I love that I'm being raided right now. Oh, this is so cool. But yeah, the woot woot. Yeah, so this is like a traditional. It's a peppermint Tyranid. I guess Yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, but this is a more traditional paint scheme. Leviathan. I love it. Yes. It is like a Leviathan. So, I did a couple of different things that were off. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, this is so cool. Well, if you guys love it. Oh, nice. Oh, damn. We're getting, like, a lot of followers. Yeah, you guys need to follow, man. Because I'm an orc player. Oh, God. Hive Fleet Leviathan. Yes. It's just so much going on. You guys are so generous and nice. This is crazy. I'm trying to read the comments really fast, and it's not working. But, yeah, the idea is that I'm going to paint all of the regiments different. I'm going to paint too much chat. We mean too much chat. Is it me chatting too much? Is that what you're saying? No, it's awesome. I want more chat. Chat. Say things. No, it was a barrage of stuff. I was like, oh God, I'm being rated. Oh God, there's so much things. No, there are a lot of chatters. I'm being goofy. Oh no, that's cool. I like that there's a lot of chatters. It's okay. Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. You should all follow. We do painting videos here on Mondays and Tuesdays. Usually I start my Tuesday painting videos a little bit early. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do the pepper. I like how you guys called it peppermint. I never thought of it that way. I'm gonna give it a brain stem tail. I'm using the Margos. I'm using the contrast paints. So this is the color contrast paints. I'm really loving them for my painting, and then I use I'll use traditional Citadel paints on top of this as well. I'm just trying to get, and again, the idea is that I'm going for a more traditional painting style with the older Tyranids. So with the bigger beefy Tyranid models, and then we're gonna go. The Moltrix will be the first one you'll see. A more wacky paint style. I love the contrast paints, backbone of my whole army. Yes, they work really well. I paint a lot of stuff with contrast. I mean, I'm also an orc player. So just to give you guys another sample, that's Gaz with contrast. This is a lot more of like an older orc paint though. So I did the checkered, a lot of throwbacks to like traditional orc. You guys can see me do more. I'll be painting more Gaz on a future video. And then they work really well for like Marvel Crisis Protocol. So the Marvel ones I do, I love the contrast for these. This is Juggernaut. They just work out real well. They do really well, especially for like stuff like superheroes or other things like that. And that's Monday nights for us. So definitely, and okay. When the raid I have been drinking them to consume their power. Oh wait, okay, haha. Sorry, I was eating a candy cane. Sweet, the raid happened, so that was what I saw. Ha ha ha. Okay, this is awesome. Thank you guys for rating us. I love that. I love that I got rated. This is so cool. I love this stuff. This is so awesome, man. And I was gonna say, anybody in the raid that finds all this stuff cool and wants to see more mini painting and board game and gaming reviews, we will be doing stuff. Yeah, man. We just finished our stream. Nice. Yeah, and Hero Rush Hour, I actually have watched. I was gonna say I've definitely watched that stream, so that's awesome. I'm flattered, and that's super cool and super nice. So I love it. Yeah, I hell yeah, man. I've definitely heard of it. I think I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm one of your biggest watchers or fans, but Shadow Minion. Wow, thank you. This is freaking amazing. This is so awesome. So what I am attempting to do now is just a little. I'm using a little bit of bone because I wanted to. You will be. Thank you. No, I will definitely come and watch more. And I am a commission for folks that are watching. I am a commission painter, so you should check out my website as well if you guys like to paint stuff. I do lots of painting. But yeah, hopefully we've been doing some big renovations to our gaming studio, so I'm hoping we will get our Thursday night content back online. My life has been so chaotic that we have sort of paused the Thursday night. We haven't paused the Thursday nights. It's just that it's been hard to coordinate the Thursday night stuff. So, but the studio is looking awesome. We got new stuff so we can do a better job for full battle reports and reviews. So you guys definitely should check that out. But like I said, this Thursday we may just do our we call it the State of Geek, where we kind of just go over geeky stuff. But I will be posting some. I don't have a scheduled video tomorrow, but I will definitely, I think, be doing more painting tomorrow. So, like I said, I think I'm going to do a part 2 for Marvel Crisis Protocol. We were doing Miss Marvel stuff. I think we're gonna jump on that, and I may have. I'm hoping. I'm just doing a little fade here with the Skeleton Horde paint because I want to get Skeleton Horde color on these spikes, but I wanted to do it on top of the purple because it'll give it a slightly different quality, which is very, very cool. Because like I said, honestly, with the paint job that we're doing on this guy, it is almost done. There's just a few other avenues and elements I want to like pick out, but and obviously I want to clean up a few things, but he's getting on the done stage, which is good. And then we'll get to the Moltrex and start painting that. So I'm going kind of basic and simple on my Tyranids, which I kind of like. And like I said, sorry in the description of the video that I completely misspelled the word Tyranids. You will start to get to know me on these streams that I am a terrible speller. Grammar and spelling did not come naturally great for me, as you could tell from that sentence, because that was spoken well, which is what I should have said. But yeah, the mastery of the English language. You've shown orcs and Tyranids. Do you play any other armies? Oh, I do. So you will be seeing on this channel, son of a biscuit. You will be seeing on this channel. Also, and who is that? Warhammer Geek. Warhammer Geek. Thank you. Warhammer Geek, are you following me? You should follow me. I think you are. Maybe you are. You will be seeing Necrons on this channel. You followed me. Thank you. That was like, I totally guilted Warhammer Geek into following me. I'm sorry. I feel bad about that. I feel like I just used my influence as a broadcaster. Look, you can follow me now. Now, do it. Do it. All the cool kids are doing it. No, that was me. But no, Necrons you will be seeing. You will also be seeing. Bleh. That's Twitch streaming, baby. That's true. You will also be seeing words. Death Guard. Oh my God, couldn't say words. God, why? So I will show you an example since I showed Tyranids. And this is just a pause, and then that's mostly just to give some stuff to dry. But here is the Unclean One, which is kind of a twofer because it could be used in fantasy, but this is my Unclean One, which this is a huge combination of contrast and traditional traditional GW Citadel paints. So this is actually a great example of when you combine the two, how you could create some really awesome effects and get an amazingly cool looking model. But yes, I play Death Guard, Necrons, Orcs, and now Tyranids. That is a grotesque-looking model, in a good way. Well, if you are a Death Watch player, that makes sense. They're dirty boys. That's what they are. They're dirty boys. But thank you. I think it's funny that that's like a really cool observation that so you're saying to yourself, you're like, oh, I did a really good job painting this model. Oh, it looks horrendously terrible. That's a good thing. So yeah, when you're painting like Death Guard or whatever, it's funny. I actually don't have an example of Necrons because I say I have a Necron army, but funny story, all of my Necrons are built, but I didn't paint any of them. It's a weird roundabout story how I ended up having Necrons, which was so a buddy of mine, which is kind of a funny story because it's a funny story to me because it's like a buddy of mine. I don't think I like these. I was gonna try this as Skeleton Horde. I don't think I like these. I think they should be red, and that's okay. If I don't, I don't know if I like them with the Skeleton Horde. It kind of diminishes it. It's an interesting look, but it's not. I'm not feeling it. Actually, you know what? Let's go the distance. Let's go the mile. Let's do the whole thing. But yeah, so the Necrons, a buddy of mine, left all of his stuff at my house, because they just needed to keep their stuff somewhere because there was a living situation emergency, and then it ended up that I became essentially a storage unit for them, and that stuff ended up literally at my house for a year. So when that happened, the person who did the things or left the things was super apologetic about leaving this stuff for that long, and one of the ways that they did that, I did not care for Skeletor either. To me it made the models too dark, but you are shooting for a grime dark look, then it's okay. Well, no, I was looking at it. So the way I'm thinking of it is that I'm just trying to break up color, and I could, I think it actually looks pretty good because I'm just trying to build, so if you look at that area, you already have the red playing off here, and I don't want to go too over crazy with the red. So I want to do red accents, which I will, and I'm going to do things. But I also want it to look or have that biomechanical feel. So at first I was like, I don't know if I like it. But now that I'm doing more of it, I'm seeing it in more areas, it actually doesn't look that bad. It actually looks kind of cool. And it just brings another focus or color. And it's nice because then it's being, it's kind of the rule of three. When I think of colors, I always try to have the color come through in different parts of the model so that your eye sort of travels with it. This is sort of a newer look. It's a different way to use Skeleton Horde. I never think of Skeleton Horde using it this way. Usually Skeleton Horde I use a lot for teeth, nail, bones, which obviously bones is what you're supposed to use it for. But I like using it for nails and teeth, and it's for the same reason that Shadow Minion has brought up, which is Laughing Goblin Studio. Thank you so much for the follow. I like it for nails and teeth because it gives that grittier look. So you get, I call it dirty teeth or dirty nails, but it makes your creature, or it makes the thing look like it's rougher and dirtier, as opposed to brilliant white teeth, which usually when I see that on models, it's very classic GW. like in the very like beginning days of GW, there was like a little bit more of that simplified, because you know the paints were simpler then, and it had that more like just in the grim darkness of the far future, dental care is not an option. I mean, that's kind of true. Like, all right, so by the way, what is it? Warhammer Geek, you've just given me an amazingly cool idea for a maybe you just literally gave me an amazing idea for a sort of Far Side comic series. So thank you for that. I don't know how I would be able to produce it though, because I'd be using GW's IP, and unless they want to hire me to make that for them, I'm going to get horribly sued. But I'm now thinking of just like a different take on the 40K universe, and I have to thank you for that. Because now I'm actively thinking about like a Tyranid dentist. Which I think is hilarious. I'm having a lot of like for folks out there that might remember. Oh Jesus, that was terrible what I just did. Robot Chicken. I'm having like very Robot Chicken-esque vibes now, which are making me laugh a lot. But yeah. And for anyone that is watching, if you can reference the potential Robot Chicken skit that I'm referring to, I will be extremely impressed. And for anyone that doesn't know, you can actually watch all of Robot Chicken on HBO Max. Not in any way, shape, or form, an official sponsor of this stream. But you can watch all of that show on there. This is insane. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the raid. You guys are freaking cool. This is amazing. Y'all made my day. I had a really just crazy day today, and the fact that we have 13 folks watching and more followers join today. You guys are amazing. You're all awesome. The support and the chat. Keep the chat going, because we are so close to affiliation, and we need to have more streams like this. So please come back and join us. Even if this is your first time, I promise I'll be better the second time. I will be better for all of you. I had a long day, so I might be a little tired. So I'm trying my best to keep the energy up and the funness out there. Oh, that was so delayed. I don't know what that was in reference to. That's what she said. It was probably to the "I'll be better next time." That's probably what that was in reference to. Which, funny enough, I think that's hilarious. I'll be better next time. Yeah, I figured that's what that was in reference to. No, I super appreciate the support. It is so awesome. But yeah, if you do give us the opportunity to be that stream for you, or to see your stream, and I was gonna say, what was it? Who said that they just finished their stream? Oh, that was Brain Heroes Brush Hour. When do you guys if you just finish your stream, is it a scheduled stream every week? If you're still watching, if you're still with us. Excuse me. voice is... That's why I don't know if I could do a full, like, 2 or 3 hours. But if you guys are watching, I will try to go as long as I can. I had to talk today a little bit. I was doing a lot of talking at an event. So it's like my voice is starting to... I can feel it pulling. So if I am not... if my voice is starting to wane or fall out, I apologize. I will do my best. Yeah, they typically do 2 a week. I see. I was just saying, you guys don't typically do them on Mondays and Tuesdays, do you? On Monday. I'm gonna guess the answer is probably yes. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. Oh no. That means I have to be super charming and super super amazing. No. You should watch all of them. If you cannot watch this live, you should come and watch my video after that, and you should share it with a bunch of people. On Tuesdays. It's just because my old schedule, that's what worked really well. So I don't want to necessarily change it, but maybe it's one of those situations you can watch both, because I don't know what time they tend to go on. Alright, I am not struggling, but now I'm trying to figure out, because again, these are all biomechanical things. So I'm thinking maybe red. I might do should the cabling be red? I mean, I did all that purple for like the other stuff, so I think I am. I think I'm gonna do red for the... Let's see what we think of that. Because that's what's tricky about Tyranids, is like I said before. I'm gonna have to do a little touch up. I was saying this last time when we were painting this model. What becomes extremely frustrating... Alright, I'm going to show you guys what I'm actually doing. Is that the rest of the model... So Tyranids, if you're going to do them in the more traditional paint scheme... then your skin is going to be a lighter color or a whiter color like I've done. So it gets a little tricky, because when you're painting, you have to be like very conscious of how you're painting, because you're going to eventually start to like... Good old HR Geiger. Yes. They are. Well, again, the Tyranids are essentially alien ripoffs, and those are ripoffs of that. So, or not rip. I shouldn't say the word ripoffs. Inspired by is the right word. Give me a second, guys. Oh, that was really weird and a really weird sensation. Because that's what's kind of interesting about the Tyranids, is that at the time that they came out in 40K and in GW, that was the popular film at the time, was Aliens, because they've been around for a long time, these guys, in the 40K lore and in the game. So that was what GW was sort of pulling from. Just like Necrons are essentially Terminators. That's a very a very big influence when they were creating those models was they were looking at what was popular at the time and created an army that looked like Terminators. Again, in look, not in, obviously not in lore or in anything else, because they created their own lore. I actually have some Xenomorph models I want to paint different Hive Fleets colors. I've got... Oh, nice. That's exactly... So that is exactly what I am doing with this army. So, like I said, I'm using a more traditional approach for the larger models that are like the heads or the... Essentially the, you know, the active leaders of the horde or swarm. And then that is the goal, is to have most units or sections of it be different. I guess the best way to say is like gene beds. So they will have just cleaning up some areas where I was too overzealous with my brush, because you can see like there are some areas I'm gonna have to re-go over this with the Apothecary White, but there are some areas where like either I was doing splattering or some other things happened when I was painting, and I just wanted to get those all sewed up. But yeah, for this army I'm gonna do something like that, where I like separate the different genes. So the newer it's funny, I say this every painting video, and I'm like, I'm gonna get to this other model, that I never get to the other model. I might stop saying that, because there is, like, you know, I always say to people, there's like so much that you can push. There's always like more you could push, or, you know, when you look at a model, you could always like go a little further. And I always, you know, I say it to everybody because I am a commission painter. I have a tendency to push a lot of my models a lot further with detail. I do that all the time. I have so many projects planned and or in various stages of complete. Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's why you guys are here. It's actually really motivating to do this stuff live. I know a lot of people are like, there are a couple of people within my like community or gaming community that always are like, oh my god, you're so brave to paint live. Like, I would be so scared to do that. And I'm like, well, it helps me a lot, because it actually motivates me to do a lot of these projects. So like, I started looking at my output, and I actually get more models done because of the streaming than I used to when I would just sit down and paint. And I think part of the reason that is true is because what is happening when I sit down, when I do a stream, is that, like we just talked about, I'm allotting myself time. I'm already putting time aside. I love painting in an environment like this. It's like sitting in the shop and talking to people as you paint. Oh yeah, absolutely. I love that too. And that's why, please guys, anyone that found me tonight, I know a raid is part of why you ended up here, but come back and talk with us. And because the show is always a better time when you all are talking and you're all asking me questions. It is always a better time. Oh geez, I went real messy on this one. All right, I'll have to, when that dries, I'll have to do a little bit of touch up on that. Those cables, I knew. Oh, you also get live feedback. and it allows you to schedule your hobby time. And yes, like you just said, you get more done. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for me, 100% the scheduling the hobby time is hands down is like hands down one of the best features. Ugh. I'm super messing this up. It's super duper like one of the main reasons I like painting on stream. But I've done a lot of talking about me. Let me hear more about you. I'd love to hear, and I know some of you have already shared, but tell me more about what you're painting. One of the best parts of raids I have found so many more people that are awake doing the same thing I am, and it makes this very solo hobby much broader. And it is always good to have a soundboard. Yes, I agree. I agree that that's awesome too. Well, like I said, for those folks that found me because of the raid, I urge you to come back and spend some time and have fun with us. Because like I said, every Monday night we do Marvel Crisis Protocol. Every Tuesday night I'm doing some sort of Warhammer project. So whether it's 40K, Age of Sigmar, or a box game, so for instance like Blood Bowl, or one of the other, as we've done for a couple weeks, we were doing some Curse City stuff. Not painting currently, but I'm working on a Death Watch. Want to have a full Watch Fortress. After that, I want to start. Ooh. That is a tall, awesome order. That is a lot of stuff to paint. Painting 2 commissions, Lord of Akram on a Griffin Charger that I have modified, and a Hero Forge model for a buddy at work that printed me off a pic of what he wants. It looks like, so that is a new challenge for me. I actually do, that is a good, I like that you guys pointed out Hero Forge. I actually have done quite a few commissions for people that have done custom models on Hero Forge. Which I think is, that is actually a good way to, there are a lot of people, if you're thinking of using a commission painter, I actually think of Hero Forge scenarios as a great one, because a lot of times, you know, you're using Hero Forge, or at least I know for myself, I use Hero Forge a lot for custom campaigns, or characters that I'm playing. So, you know, like custom characters, those are great commission projects. So because I know for a lot of people out there who are doing this hobby, the prospect sometimes of paying another human being maybe a larger sum or a lot of money for a commission, it's funny how some of the old things about this model, because these are old models. These are they didn't redo these models for the new Codex release, and it's just funny. I'm just looking at the fingernails. There's some like imperfections of the model that actually made its way there, which I know are old imperfections, like the way that they sculpted these nails. You have to paint it this way because it's the way the nail is, but it's not accurate to like anatomy, which is kind of funny. So I'm painting it, but it's definitely not the way that the nail should be formed on here. but it's also tricky because so now this is going to be red because I've changed up how I'm doing the nails. So all of these, which is great because I messed up a lot of them anyway. So it's cool that this is now a red element. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat, guys. You're posting awesome stuff. I just am. My chat is not. I have to redo. I'm in the process of getting a couple of other screens that I could have the chat up a little bit differently. Thankfully, a Watt Fortress is similar to. Is smaller than a full chapter. 100 or so troops. Yes. Oh Jesus. Okay. Nice Swarmlord. Thank you for the first time chat. Yes. And if you're a first time chatter with us and you like what you see and you would love to come and see us on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays I do Marvel Crisis Protocol bottles. Tuesdays I do Warhammer stuff. Consider following and signing up for notifications because I also do a lot of other videos. So the notifications help a lot to let you know when we're live. Okay, I am falling way behind in the chat. Okay, thankfully, compared to 1,000. Still a go through. Yes, it is. D&D is how I go into AOS. I needed some good looking undead and took a shot at buying some models 3 years ago, and now here we are painting stuff for people and owning the entire Death Faction, which is still mostly gray. Lots left. That's funny. But all my family and friends have been extremely supportive. They have all told me that I found my niche, so I'm just rolling with it. Oh Jesus. Yeah. On my niche, so I'm just rolling with it, even though I am late to the game of this hobby. Is that no, that Tyranid title is not an autocorrect. It is a 100% misspell by me because I am 100% terrible at spelling. But thank you for letting me know. I will rectify that right now because you were so nice in the chat to put the correct way to spell Tyranids. So I do appreciate that. I'm really horrible at spelling. Because Tyranid's not a real word, so when you type it in, it does not try to autocorrect for you. Actually, all of the anything that it's ever autocorrected it to is not safe for a stream. So it puts in other words that are not. I'm a Terra nerd. That's okay. Terra nerds are cool. I like Terra nerds. And by the way, this is my first forte into Tyranids. So I've said I've admired this army from afar, and now I am painting them. So I've always wanted them, and then I was like, oh, they're getting a new codex. So I'm like, it is time. I'm a Warhammer geek. You don't say. Really? What would one tell that you are a Warhammer geek? Is it kind of sounds like maybe it's in your name? I love that. Also, let me know what else have you painted? Oh, I've painted. So you missed my little show, but I've painted. So I am an Orc player. I am a Death Watch player. I am a Necron player. Although I did make the joke earlier that and it's actually similar to the skeleton comment from earlier that oh, for Tyranids that is. This is legitimately the first Tyranid model I have ever painted. I have not painted any. I have built I went and purchased the patrol box, which is where this Swarmlord is part of, and then just gonna get some shading on this. And then I have a Moltrex that we will hopefully on this stream start to paint. Oh, thank you. And so, as I said to everybody here, my goal with this army is to do the larger models in a more traditional paint. Okay. I love this. Okay, tell me more. I've built the true the true leader of the Tyranids. Well, yes, I wanted my Swarmlord to have, as I said earlier in the stream, my Swarmlord and all of the larger leader units or specialty units, I wanted them to have a more traditional Tyranid paint job. So I went with the more traditional, like what you see for the most part on the Warhammer box, and then I kind of modified it from there a little bit, just to have a little bit more flair in certain areas and to do kind of my own take. But I'm going to have all of my main leader units in this color scheme, and then for other units or other factions within the army, I'm going to make them from different gene beds, so they're going to have different coloring. That's kind of how I want to run this army, which I think will be kind of fun. It'll give a different look to it. So that is sort of my approach with this, and I'm just finding a lot of areas that I just need to slightly tweak or get some paint in. I'm also introducing a little bit of shading, so to kind of produce that armor plating in a nice way. Oh, I might have said it wrong. Is it Mortex? Not Moltrex. It's the newer model. It's the new model they just released. The one you could have 3 of in your army, which we're going to paint this guy up. So this is the newer release of this model. I think I said it wrong. Again, I am new to Tyranids, so the naming conventions I might be getting wrong. So I do apologize if I did in fact. Yeah, it's the parasite. You got it. But I could have swore on the box it says that name. Mortex. Okay, so yeah, it's Mortex. I kept saying Motrex, which is that a Pokemon? I feel like I'm confusing it with a Pokemon name, which is probably true. That would be me. I would one of the few named Tyranids. Yeah, because I know there aren't too many named units. Because in their lore, if you know their lore, they have a hive mind, so they're not. So they don't have names. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm saying a Pokemon name. There's like 6. I've counted. I'm sure you have. If that's your jam and you know them very well, I would imagine that you have. Even then, named characters can be in different hive fleets. Yes. Well, you could also play like even that named character. You can play with 3 of them on your army now. So it's a named character, but you're able to play with them because it's a speed unit in the newer rules. So. For a lot of for people when they were changing the codex, there was a little not confusion, but people kind of took the old way of doing things that like, oh, it's a named character. So I'm only going to have one of those, and then they realize they can play with 3 of them, instead of just one. So a lot of people jumped for that unit. Nice. All right. I'm going to do one of the harder things on this model, which I know is going to make me either love it or hate it. I am upset on the new needs to the unit, though. They made Synapse and Aura now. Yes, they did. Which I know people were angry about. But I think overall, from what... Oh, that's really small. I don't know if I can do my traditional method. Oh, it kind of worked. I was trying to give a little bit of light in that eye, and I think... Yeah, they nerfed some things, but like, I feel overall, from what I've heard from other people, they are still... I think, I feel like people still won out. It's less people angry at the Aura and more angry people can cancel. Yeah. But I think overall they still are like a very strong army, and I think that they got a pretty nice boost up. Ooh, I'm either going to like what I'm about to do or I'm going to hate it. Let's see. So I'm just doing some null oil on this area. Just so the connective tissue has a little bit more intrigue to it. I think this will help. Because right now with the Apothecary White, which I was using, it didn't really give like a nice... Yeah, I agree with that statement too. You're right. Boy, I love that we're having like a Tyranid discussion. Who would have thought when I paint Tyranids we could actually have a full-blown Tyranid discussion? Yeah. I knew what you meant when you wrote it. Yeah, I like using the null oil to break this up. This is good. Like I said, I'm taking a very like natural approach to my Tyranids, because you know that's what's fun about painting them, is that they have all of this like, because everything on them is all like, it's their actual like I said, it's their actual evolution, because they're using biomechanic. It's all part of their body, and it's all being formed because of gene beds. So, I mean that's not gene beds. I'm just called them gene stealer cults, which is wrong. How many named Tyranids? So I love that they build that all of the stuff that they're doing is made out of their flesh. All right, hold on. I have to. I want to just put in. Yeah, this'll. So remember how I was saying before, like you want to punch up certain areas. I love this because this is gonna be like so easy. And I don't want to. I want to correct something I said in a earlier video. And the correction I want to make is that I think I implied that like Tyranids are really easy to paint, and that's not true. It's just that you need to use, like, you can make a very cool color scheme by using washes, and I think washes get underused a lot, and a lot of people don't use them in their painting. But that's a big cornerstone to Tyranids, because when you want to get all of this ribbing and stuff done, that null oil is so great. Because so putting down that base of the Apothecary White is great, because then you can just throw the null oil in those areas and it pops them so well, because you don't have that white area, and then you get all of that bone structure, and it just pops the area so nice. And you can see already, he's already like went from like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds, because we've done just a little bit of additional fun stuff here. I feel like the easiest part of painting Tyranids is they are, yeah, sectional. They are. Because you're not, but again, if you just like really smart paint it, like I did here, you can, like, all I'm doing is I'm just taking that wash and going into those crevices. So, you know, you can be a little bit more sloppy or painterly with them, because all of this like coloring that I'm doing, like, it all just looks organic. So it just looks really cool. It looks nice. And you're just bringing like connective tissue, so it just like all kind of works. It all kind of flows. But it all looks organic. Like when you look at the creature, you're like, oh, that looks organic. It looks like a knee. It looks like a sectional. So it just looks great. And again, very little. It's just being uneven. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going into these creviced areas and throwing that null oil in there, just so we get like those darker recesses to really pop. But like I said, I don't want to paint Tyranids as like go get a Tyranid army. They're like the easiest things in the world to paint, and like they have no depth or definition, and like anybody can paint them, and like it's like any other Warhammer model. There's a skill level to every paint, and there's a skill level to everything you do. And if you kind of just quickly throw paint on it, it's gonna always look like you quickly threw paint on it. You know. Now me, I'm a pretty fast painter. Now Swarmlord, as I always say too, is the bigger model. So what does that mean? Well, bigger models are always easier to paint, because you can use bigger brushes, and you can be, to an extent. It's going well. How are you? And as always, guys, if you're liking what you're seeing and you wanna come back for more, consider following the channel. Consider signing up for notifications. And as a reminder, we always do Warhammer stuff on Tuesdays, Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff on Mondays, and then Thursdays are going to be, I'm hoping, be our game review and battle report day. I'm good, man. Just finished my IG infantry squad, so I'm exhausted. Oh, nice. Very cool. This is awesome. You guys are freaking amazing. This is like one of the coolest streams I've had. I thank you so much for the raid. And like I said, I hope a lot of the folks that raided today come on back, you know, because we are fun folks. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, and maybe we'll do a little. Why did I take this off the pedestal? I didn't need to do that. And these, of course, are Citadel handles that I'm using. I really like them. I think they're good. I do have other ones from other companies, but all right, let's get into some new model painting. So unlike our Swarmlord, who I did the more traditional paint with, I shall return. Good sir, thank you for the stream. You are welcome, good sir, and I look forward to your inevitable return. So, this is where it's going to get a little tricky. Because I think I know what I want to do. But I also don't know what I want to do. So I said to you guys, I don't want them to have the same look. But now the paint scheme is like locked into my brain. What's your basing idea for these guys? Well, so this is the idea. So the idea that I had for this army, and I've talked about it, is that for the larger leader units or larger units in general, I want to do the more traditional. So this, what you guys just saw me do with the Swarmlord, this is a more traditional Tyranid painting. So Tyranids, from the day that they were incepted, usually are white, red, and purple. That's usually the color scheme that you see on most Tyranids. What I want to do, so that's going to be for the bigger leader, bigger units. For the other units, the like Termagants, the warriors, you know, other faction units, I want them to be from different gene pools. So I do want to do different color schemes for those units. So I don't want them to be that traditional paint scheme that I did for him. Where I'm going to now run into a problem is I don't know exactly how I want to do this now. Because my original idea, and I think we're just going to go for it, and if this blows up in my face, I may have to re-whiten it or redo it. But my original idea was to do red. So I wanted to do red in the armor areas. And then I wanted to do, so I think I have an idea. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do red in the back. I'm going to do red on the face, but then I'm going to transition to orange for the top. So this will be red, that whole back piece, that'll be red. Then I'm going to do the wings in that like skeleton horde brown. And then I'm going to overlay some fun stuff on the top. But now I just realized, okay, so we'll do red. We'll do, okay, I think the color scheme is coming together. I was going to say, whoever said that it's good to have a soundboard, no splotching. So he's got one thing about this model that I will say, he's got what I like to call the bounce. So the model, because it's on like a base, and it's like very delicate. It wobbles a little bit when you hit it with paint, so you can inadvertently start flicking paint on it and splattering paint around. So that kind of sucks. So I'm going to use a larger brush to avoid that, so I can make nah, you don't have to be scared. So a couple of little tricks when you're worried about like models like that. So you see how I actually put a finger on top of it like that? I'm putting a finger on the base part where he's like on. So by doing that, it gives me stability, and it gives, so you can see it doesn't wobble when I do that. and it makes it so I don't. He like will move a little bit, but for the most part, I've now secured him, so I can't really break him. The other thing you could do, which I am not a fan of, is assembly painting. So while it's on, so you leave the parts on the sprue, you prime the sprue, and then you actually paint it while it's still on the sprue. I personally can't paint like that. So for instance, when you guys were looking at me doing the Swarmlord, there was a moment in there where you saw me like bringing shadows out to areas. So I was actually like creating shadows. I don't understand how light is going to hit a model until it's all together. So when you guys are seeing me create shadows, sometimes the coloring I actually use literally the natural shadows that the model uses to create my shadows, because if light is going to hit the model and create a natural shadow, I want the color to support that shadow, because what you will find when you actually do that is that you will have a model that looks more alive, because in the natural light it's actually doing and shadowing itself the way it's supposed to. Well, I mean, again, personally, I would find it that way, because I am a very visual and graphic person, but I wouldn't be able, I'd have trouble following where things would go, because, and hear me out for those folks that do, before you maybe jump and disagree. I think lately GW has made and makes their models so differently than they used to, that like you'll see on a sprue that like you'll have part of a head on another part of a body, or like you don't have, it's not like older GW where like you're like, okay, this unit I'm gonna glue on his torso, his arms, his legs. Like sometimes you'll have part of a head, part of a leg on you, like a tree. And then when you put these like sliver of pieces together, it forms like the whole figure. So I think from a assembly painting standpoint, it becomes very challenging, because you don't. Yep. Yeah, so like to me, I wouldn't be probably as inclined. Now, that being said, are there times that I think it could be very helpful? Oh, 100%. There are times, because there are, to the gentleman's point or madam's point or their point, there are times where it's a little bit more, oh, they have this is like a lobster thing. Okay, so I'm gonna have teeth in there that I'm gonna have to paint differently. That's interesting. Wow, there's a lot of little details on this model. But yeah, no, I'm totally down. I'm totally with you. I'm hearing what you're throwing down. That's awesome. And I should have said this when the people who rated me were on here, or if they're not, if Hero the Brush is not on here anymore. I would have loved to, like, I am totally down if anyone out there is a streamer and they want to collab or do some stuff together. I am always up for that kind of stuff. I should have mentioned that. I have to start saying that. I always forget to say that when I have people here, and I like... So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of doing the tentacles and stuff. I'm getting my thought process as to what I want to use, but like I said, my thought process is I want to go like completely in a different direction with a lot of this. After I make my IG army, I really want a... Yeah. I've said it before. The Tyranids were always like on... They were on my list of like armies and things that I wanted. Because, again, a lot... And I think a lot of us out there will probably say the same thing. But a lot of my model choices have always been under the guidance of how cool do the models look. So, like, I know a lot of people out there who play 40K obviously will disagree with this strategy, but I don't look at how powerful an army is. I just look, hey, the model's cool. That has been my guiding force for quite a lot of my army choices, whether we're talking Age of Sigmar or we're talking 40K. A lot of my model choices are like, are these cool models? And you know, a lot of that comes from I love painting. So you know, I want to have fun painting the army that I have, because if I think the models are cool, I play IG, so I know how you feel. Lots of laughs. I play them because they are cool, not because they are good. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, the other side of that coin is also, like, the lore. So, like, I do... Another piece is, like, if I think the lore of an army is really cool, that's going to be a factor that's going to make me, like, go, like, ooh, I want to play more of this. I definitely want to do that. Now, what I find funny about this is I am looking at zero reference, which honestly I'm going to do the lore is better than data slates. Yes. Yeah, so you guys will already see, like, I am consciously trying to do differences so that the Swarmlord, like, has, again, that more traditional Tyranid paint. But already I'm trying to differ that specialty unit from him, because I want them to, again, this idea that they came from a different gene pool or a different hive. Yeah, I think it's gonna look cool. I think this is gonna be a two-tier kind of fun thing. Let's see. I have a couple of ideas of what I'm gonna do here, but let's see. And it's kind of funny because if you think about it, right? The unit is supposed to be, so they're supposed to be parasites. So I like that he looks a little bit more like. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that this way. And it's a very subtle difference on top. Now I think what I'm going to do, let's just try it. Let's see what happens. So instead of going for, yeah, I think this is going to look cool. I like this. I already like this a lot. To do in the connective tissue. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Because then it again, it gives it this just like totally different vibe. I don't know. There's like part of me that wants to go a certain way. And then yeah, let's just do it. Let's just go. Let's go for the gusto. Let's go for the full effect. Let's see. Sorry guys, I know I'm blocking with my hand. I have a tendency to do that. I try not to, but now I'm thinking we do the tail orange. I don't know if I want to do that yet, but I'm definitely going to maybe try that idea. Let me just put a little bit of that. So I'll let that dry and then we're going to go on with the red. But I want to have a bone element. I don't know if I like this yet. I'm gonna play with it to see what my thoughts are. Ooh. I kind of like this. Gotta go, but it was a fun time. Well, Warhammer Geek, please come on back. Don't be a stranger. Come see us. It was a fun time with you as well. Interesting. Oh, I went a little bit longer. All right, well, you guys are getting a full show tonight. I did not think I was going to go as long as I did. But you're all here. You want to see what is happening. What is happening in the land of the fun. The fun and the painting. go into this. Yeah, let's get this red, baby. And for any of you folks that are still out there, tell me more about what you're working on. Do you guys have questions? Do you have comments? Do you need help with certain projects? Are you new to the hobby? Please unveil your secrets to me. I'm not happy with where they placed this. That's annoying. I like the idea that all of the little pincers that they have are all red, because to me that's kind of fun, because it's like, you know, because essentially what they do is they latch on with the pincers to like inject the because they inject parasites into you. That's what they are. And again, it should be known that this particular model is one of the first newer done models for the Tyranids. So this was one of the first model redos that they did. For them. Because as of right now, all the other Tyranid models that are available are all older sculpts. So even if you're buying something like the Patrol box, you're still getting just want to see what this looks like. I could always any of you folks that are out there, give me some thoughts. Give me what are your thoughts on what we're doing here? You like the color scheme? You think the colors are working really well? Let me know. Uh-oh. I see a like, okay. I was like, what? Didn't realize I was trying to send it in here. Oh, no problem. Oh, it happens, man. I got tons of stuff open on my computer. I can say I am totally in the same boat. I have totally done that at some point in my painting. Yeah, well, not painting. Being a streamer, I have totally done that. I could admit in my like early streaming days, I totally had like, what was it, text messages on my phone on. So in the middle of my stream, like people were seeing my text messages, and I was like, ooh, okay. I'm gonna go for a darker color inside the wings, but I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go for this color, and then I'm going to either null oil on top of it or throw another color on top of it so it darkens it a little bit. I think is what I'm gonna do. Because there's something about it I do like. And then my thought was to do the apothecary white on the actual like structure of the bones, which I thought would be kind of cool. So everything on top of it will be lighter, and then like it'll just be the wings will be like flappy, darker, like leathery kind of color. But sometimes I like to go with the skeleton as the first coat, just because it's like it's an in-between brown, so it like gives you a nice look, but then you can kind of play with darkening it or lightening it as much as you want. So I sort of like playing with that idea or that dynamic, which is kind of fun. Nice. Yeah, I do actually like this because it's cool. It's got. I think if I darken it like I said I was going to, I think it will look sick and awesome. And like I said, it'll have that like leathery kind of vibe, so it'll look a lot more organic. But I do like it, and it is very much in the vein that I was talking about, where it looks unique, it looks different. Very, very cool. I don't know. I'm like, it's funny. I'm like, and there's a lot more that I'm gonna have to do to this, because there's like all these like really cool like there's all these really cool like fraction points, and like, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun coming in and like emphasizing a lot of those. So, but already that looks sick. Like, that's gonna look real sick. Something similar I did with my dragon, where I did like a dark tone and then a light tone. So the areas where it's raised with the bones, it looks like the skin, or the wing, the skin on the wing is like much lighter in those areas where it's getting folded over the bone. So it gives this like nice gradation and movement that I really, really enjoy and I really like. Nice. I know it's only a little bit of a start, but because I can feel my tank. I can feel the tank getting real low, so I may have to just finish up the main area, because as you guys know from the stream, if you've been with us for a while, when I'm using the contrast paints, I always talk about how I like to finish the area that I'm working on, because when you're using the contrast paints, I never like to like half paint an area and then come back, because you will always have tonal issues or tonal problems. So I always like to go through and paint as much of it as possible, so that it just stays nice and even. Because if you have to go back over it after it's painted, it will just look like certain areas are like splotchy or darker, and you'll have some issues just in general. So like, you guys will see this in a minute, but like, even when I'm repainting, like if I have to go back and paint the whole area, I usually just will throw down a whole nother level of paint, because you can already see now those areas that I went back over already look darker. Than the areas I didn't go over, because you're putting that second layer back on there. So what I'm doing now is, there were some areas where I didn't go all the way to the edge, so I'm just like noticing where those are and just trying to do my best to get stuff in there. Now the nice thing about doing what I'm doing now is, even if I get a little bit more extra paint in there, it's actually going to look good, because it will start to look like there's a darker area there for shadowing. So it actually will be to my benefit what I am doing now, which is the edges. So you can see now you have this nice darker line or darker tone that I created just by bringing the color on top of it again. So I'm pretty happy with this. All right, actually do like how this looks. It actually looks pretty cool. I'm going to do one more thing, which is tidy up the helmet piece, as I'm going to call it, or the headpiece. Now that words are hard. Now that I allowed that to dry, and I think that looks pretty darn cool with that, you know, with the yeah, I'm liking this. And funny enough, this too is an older, it kind of resembles an older Tyranid, an older Tyranid design. I didn't do that on purpose, but and we're gonna get wackier. Like the genus is gonna get wackier. Like I'm gonna start doing like green and blues and, you know, other stuff in here. So stay tuned as we paint more and more of the Tyranids. It's going to start to get much more wacky. Nice. Yeah, that looks pretty dope. That looks real cool. So we were whoever I was gonna say, for all the folks that said the orange and that were gonna look cool, they look cool. Yeah, it's gonna look sick once we're done. All right, well, we got a little further on our secondary unit. We did a lot on our Hive Lord, which I'm going to say that the Hive Lord, maybe with a few touch-ups being done, which I'll probably do off camera, I think this, I'm really happy with the way that he came out. Again, maybe a few touch-ups, but I think he looks super sick and super sweet. I'm loving how this is starting to come out. And again, I think they look awesome together. They definitely look like they should be part of the same army. So there's enough similar, but then at the same time there's also some differences, which is pretty cool. So I think we're definitely getting that genome of just like a different species, which is cool. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. This was crazy. The raid was amazing. We had so many people on with us, which is super dope. And for all the new people that followed me tonight and signed up for notifications, thank you. I'm going to call it for tonight. We actually went for about 2 hours, and I'm really, really stoked about that. As a reminder, Mondays my goal is to start by 10 o'clock for Marvel Crisis Protocol models, if you're interested in that tabletop game as well. Tuesdays, tonight, we normally do our Warhammer, and that could be, again, 40K. It could be Age of Sigmar, which we're actually going to start doing some fantasy stuff probably next week. Just so I switch and give all the love out there to everybody. So it could be 40K, it could be AOS, it could also be their, box games like Blood Bowl or Warhammer Quest or other stuff, because I have a lot to paint and we're still working on a ton of it. And then Thursdays, I'm looking to come back with a vengeance with either doing custom RPG stuff, definitely battle reports, review of board games. So essentially us playing either a board game, a tabletop game, or some custom scenarios. So probably thing we are more likely going to do quicker is some battle reports of Marvel Crisis Protocol, because we have most of our terrain painted, and I have some custom ideas. I have a very cool custom campaign set up, so stay tuned. We'll talk more about that. But I hope to bring Thursday nights back, but with my current schedule, we might only do the Monday and Tuesdays for a while. But I do also stream on other days. Those are the scheduled times. But there are times where I'll jump on and we'll do either like video game gameplay, or we'll do painting, or we'll do other stuff. So don't hesitate to follow and sign up for notifications so you know when we are live on those spontaneous moments. And as always, check out my Patreon and website. Those are other monetary ways to support the channel. So I do have a website where I do commission painting, and I also do commission artwork. And my Patreon, it's actually my indie comic stuff. So if you're enthralled by the painting and board game stuff and video games, check out my artwork and some of my original comic stuff. I will be adding to that Patreon, and I will be hopefully very soon launching a whole separate Patreon. There's a little bit more game focus, which will have, I'm hoping, tiers with gaming assets and things for you that are original and made for your gaming needs, and some other original content or videos that will be only available through Patreon or stream live through Patreon. So there will be some incentive to being a Patreon member, and that Patreon money is really important, because that Patreon money helps us to get more equipment and things that we need to keep building the content and production value of what we do, and will allow me to do this on a more full-time basis for you all, because I would love to do this on a full-time basis, and even have some other developments which that funding could help with. But most importantly, again, following and signing up for notifications so you can be here live and participate in the conversation is amazing, because that will get us to the affiliation mark. We are getting there, but we need that consistency, so your viewership and supporting is so important. And then again, also sharing this with others so you can get other people to maybe enjoy the same content that you yourself enjoyed. Thank you all for watching as always, and I'll see you at the next video. And like I said, this week I'm hoping to do another painting video tomorrow, which doesn't seem to be a problem with doing that, where we do a part 2 for Marvel Crisis Protocol, because I kind of shortchanged everybody on that end. I actually gave the Warhammer folks more love with a 2-hour stream, and I gave the Marvel folks a very short stream. So I'm going to give them a second. And then we may even do a second Warhammer stream if Thursday night has issues with scheduling like we've had. So thanks all for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.